create a simple JavaScript slider where the images will go slide next, backward, and also we'll use the infinite loop where it will go with a time like 2 seconds, 3 seconds per slide. So there are two buttons which I have just created a simple template. Here we have an image tag and a buttons, two buttons, one for the next and one for the backward. And here we have this image. Okay, so I give all of them their own classes, and then I select them with the document.querySelector. Already that this is just simple code structure we have created. So the main thing is we are just gonna work with the slider. Okay, so these are 4 images which I took it inside my folders. Here in this one we have 4 images, and the one I just put this image for only the dummy. Okay, so now let's go and quickly create this simple image slider. Okay, so first of all, what will I do? I have taken all of them. Okay, so the first one is that whenever I click upon the next button, so it will go and show me the next image, like first this one image, then this one image, then this, and then this one. Okay, so for that I want to let's say I want to say that take this image and go inside that image source and change the link with this image first, then this image, then this. So first I'm just gonna go and say image dot source. Okay, the image source, and that should be equals to what? I'm just gonna go and take this slider. Okay, so the slider, and then inside that I'll say let's grab it the second one. Okay, this one, like these are 3 index, so this will be the second index. This is 0, 1, and this is 2. Okay, and then I want to say the dot image, take the image from there. Okay, if there was something else it will also take that, but here we have only image and ID. I can either take the ID, but it's not necessary for us. What I need is the image. Okay, so I took this image, and once I just saved it, it changed the image. Now how does this works? Here we have taken the image source. Okay, this one image. Okay, so first I grab this image class from there, which is image document.querySelector, and then image. Then I said that go inside image.source. We targeted this source, and like just here we have done hard coded. Then I changed it there that image.source should be equals to this one. Okay, this link, this one, just like that simple one. Okay, just like that we have equal that. But now we want to loop through this whole array, and we'll take one each in each image from this array, and then we'll change it with the clicks and also with a time. Okay, like 2 seconds or 1 second or 3 seconds. Okay, it's upon you. So I'll make it big here, but I can't say that first I'll put 1, then I'll say 2, then I'll say 3. We're just gonna make it through something else. Like first, what will I say? I'll say let index, and that should be equals to 0. Then I'll call this index down here. Okay, so I'll say index, and now this will go back to 0. And if I just say 2, so it will change it to 2. If I say 3, so it will come to 3. And with the same way, we're just going to change this everything through buttons and also with the time. So first I'll create a function for that. So I'll say const, but without further that to go, I'm just going to use it an event. Okay, so we will call through an event. So for that, let's say back dot and I'll say add event listener. Okay, so this is like an event listener. So now what I will do that let's say I'll use it for the click, and in here I can use a callback function, but I'm not going to use a callback function. I'll use simple I'll declare a function here, then I'll call it over here. So just in here I'll say const, and I'll say let's create it first for the next. Okay, so we'll first go with the next. I'll say let's say next slide, and then I'll say equals to an arrow function, and down here what I need to do is these things. Okay, and then for the next what I use is the index, this index. I'll just make this index with let's say once I click it, I'll say index plus 1. Okay, then I'll say index plus 1 again, plus 1. Okay, so it will just count it, like first it is 0, then when I click it will go 1, then it 2, and the same like that. Okay, so let's just go and say index plus plus. So what it will do, that this will go for the plus 1, then it will plus it. Okay, 1, then 2, then 3, 1. When I click this next button function, so it will create the next 1, 2, 3, and it will call, and it will loop through this whole array. Okay, so let's do this. Now I'll say next slide. Okay, and this is an event listener. Okay, so I think you know already these things. So next this one image, then next, but it will not work when I just go click, because it will give me an error. And what that error says, that uncaught type error slider index is undefined. Okay, so here we have only 4 items, like 4 images, and I'm clicking and going to the 5th, 6th, but there is no image in that. So what we will do, we'll say that whenever you reach to the last image, then you should come back and you should start it from the first one, like index 0, then index 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're just going to use that same functionality for this. So I'll use an if condition. Okay, so what I will say, that if you reach to the last one, okay, if this index reaches to the last one, then you should come back to 0. So that's only simple logic. So I'll say that once the index is equals to the last one. Now what will be the last? I'll say that the slider, this up slider, okay, this slider dot length. So what will be the length? It will be 3, sorry, not 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. So it will, whenever it reaches to 4, we don't want to go to 4, we will say that come back to 0, and we'll start from the first one. So I'll say whenever index equals to slider dot length, I want him to come back. So then what I will say, index equals to 0, and that's the simple logic. So right now I'm saying next, and it goes back to the first one. Okay, so again go and then come back to the next first one. Okay, so the same thing I'm just gonna do for the backward. Okay, so I'm just gonna say copy, and for that I'll say back. Okay, so backslide, and then I'll create the same function over here. So I'll say const backslide equals to an arrow function, and the same functionality I'm just gonna do it in here, but I'll just do some little bit changes, like it will do the same thing. Then I'll say instead of plus plus, it is back, so I'll say minus minus. Okay, so it will go backward, but there's a little bit tiny problem. If I click back, it won't work, and it will give me an error, slider index dot is undefined, because I'm going back, but there is not a -1 or -2 or minus something like that. If I just simply go in here and say console log that index, index, and I'm just gonna go next, so it give me -1, but here we don't have any -1 in our slider. Okay, so it is just only up to index 0, and we want to refer it back to what, to this 4th length dot -1. Okay, so always the length will be less will be -1 than the whole array index. Okay, like the index array starts from 0, and here the length starts only from 1. Okay, so if you didn't got the point, so you will get it right now. Okay, so now what I'm just going to do is to say that whenever you reach to -1, or you are less than this first this one, so then come back to what, to this. So in the plus plus, it was going down here, this to 4, and then it goes reverse to 1. But in this, what it will do, that whenever you are in the 1, so you will come back to 4, and then 3, then 2, then 1. Okay, so we are just gonna make this logic in here. So what I will do, I'll say that if the index is less than 0, let's say the index got less than 0, like here it was 0, but it was okay, but once it goes down than 0, so we want to refer it back to what, to this last index image. So we'll do this thing. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that whenever the index is less than 0, then I want to say that go, and index should be equals to what, to the slider dot length, but not the length, -1 from the length. Okay, the length is actually we have 4 in length, but there are 3 in indexes, and we want to work with indexes. We want the index from that. Okay, so what I will say that 3 minus 1, and that 4 minus 1, it becomes 3, and this will be the third index of the array. So it will come to this image. Okay, so I think this should work. Let's go next, and then I'm just gonna go back, and that works. Okay, so next, back, but you will create these buttons here and here with the positions only. Okay, so it is easy, it's not that much hard. So we'll customize these little bit later. Okay, so now the last thing is that it should work on second, like after 2 seconds it should slide. Okay, so we're just gonna create a function, but there's no need of functions. Okay, because we need if you want to slide forward, so you should just call this inside a timer. Okay, so the timer is set timeout. Okay, or set interval, sorry, let's make it this set interval. And what we will do in this, I'll just call it, takes a callback function, and also it takes a time. This place, like after the comma and after the callback function, it takes the time, and in here it needs the functionality what you want to do with that. So I just want to do this next slide, so I'll call this next slide function. That's why I said that I'm just going to create separated functions so that I can use it in other somewhere else if I need. So I need it in here, so I called it, and now that works with the next button. So you can just change the times. If you want to make it 2 seconds, so it will call after 2 seconds, the image will change after 2 seconds. Okay, so don't worry, the first time it takes delay, because here I have used this image the same as this one, so it changes and it brings me this image which is the same image. Okay, so don't worry about this. And that's it for this video. If you like, so please like and subscribe and share it with your friends. Thank you.